This is ReadAlignDoAlignCooking.com. My name is Mike Pierce. Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my home. Today, we're going to make chicken parmesan. Because last week, a friend of mine showed up unexpectedly for a visit and we got talking about dinner and I mentioned I had a couple chicken breasts thawing in the fridge and somehow he heard chicken parmesan. I looked around and I had the ingredients, so I made it. And it was pretty easy. So the way chicken parmesan basically works is you take a chicken breast, chicken cutlet, whatever you want to call it, you bread it, you saute it, you put some cheese on it, and you broil it to melt the cheese. At the same time, you cook some pasta. And when you're done, you have pasta, you have your chicken, you put marinara sauce over all of it. So to save time, we're going to cut a few corners here. Well, one corner really. That saucepan has store-bought marinara in it. We're not doing it from scratch. I've doctored it a bit with a can of sliced mushrooms, some crushed garlic, some Italian seasoning, and some cayenne pepper, so it's a little more interesting, but it's still just store-bought marinara. In this one, we're going to have water and we will boil some pasta. We're pretty much going to ignore those two things. The marinara is on what's called a simmer switch, which is a feature of this big range, so you'll hear it turn on and off. Don't worry, it's just a way of keeping the sauce from burning. So it'll probably happen in a minute. What we're going to do is there it goes. We're going to concentrate on the chicken. So we're going to take our chicken, run through this real fast. Take our chicken, we're going to trim it, then we're going to slice it in half. So instead of being 2 inches thick, it'll be about 1 inch thick. We're going to take our hammer and we're going to pound it flat. Okay, it needs to be about even at about a 1/2 inch. We are going to run it through some flour, then some egg, then some breadcrumbs. Set it on a rack to dry. When that happens, I will move my camera and we'll saute it. We'll also heat up the water and start the broiler. And when it's all done, put some cheese on, we'll broil it. Hopefully our pasta will be done at the same time. Try and coordinate the timing of this and we'll put a plate together and hopefully it'll look pretty good. As always, one on me, one on the down angle, back and forth depending on what's more interesting. So let's get started. Okay, so we have our chicken breast. Let's unwrap it. Put some paper towel around it. And let's get it off this plate and go ahead and trim it up. All we're trying to do is take off anything you really don't want. We're not quite done trimming, but I do want to cut this in half to make it easier to trim. Now we're going to use this to basically pound both of them fairly flat, fairly even. Probably use the flat side more than this side. The rough side tears it up a fair bit, but we'll use both. By the way, it's tasks like this that I wish I had an apron. I need to buy one. Okay, that's probably good enough. Okay, so now, let me combine some of this stuff here. Guess I don't need this plate. This is just all-purpose flour. Don't need much. And then just to make it a little more interesting, a little bit of black pepper, kind of use up. A little bit of garlic powder. And I'm going to take this thing and try and break up as many of these. Mine has a lot of lumps in it, apparently. There we go. Looks pretty good. Then we're going to take some breadcrumbs. These are plain. Italian would have been a little better. I have Italian, but plain is already open. So we're going with plain. And now we need to scramble an egg. Didn't do a very good job of that. It says to scramble it with a little bit of oil. Don't know why, but I'm going to comply. So the process here, we're a little out of shape, is we're going to go from the flour to the egg to the breadcrumbs. So first we take, put a lid on it. Looks like it's covered to me. Take it. Put it in here. Make sure it's pretty good, pretty well covered. Toss it in the other side. Put a lid on that. Excuse me. Clearly need more breadcrumbs. That's how we're looking now. That looks pretty good. So take that, just set it on a rack. We'll start our second one. The second one's going to fall apart, is what the second one's going to do. Looks pretty good. I think I might need a little more breadcrumbs. Okay, now we're cooking. Now it's pretty well coated. And we've got the last little bit. Might as well cook it too, even though it's just a complete waste. A little piece. Put you on the rack. Okay, well, I'm going to clean up and move my camera, and then we'll be cooking over there. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. Clean things up a bit. Move my other camera. The water's on. Pot marinara sauce has been stirred just for fun. The heat's on over here. It's going to take another few seconds before we are ready, but it's gaining on it. What you want to do is let the pan heat up before you put the oil in. You want the oil to heat up before you put the food in. At least that's what they tell me. So that's what we're going to do. Got this on basically medium heat, and my oil is not ready. Because if it was, that'd be cooking a little better. This tiny little nothing piece. Okay, my oil is ready. Let's lay this in. And we'll lay this in. So now all we're going to do is we're going to let this cook for a little while. And when we think we got it pretty much browned, we're going to flip it over. I'll probably take a couple tries at that because I'm not quite sure how to do all this. Only my second try. But it should turn out pretty good. Our water is actually very close. A little salt in it. Those look pretty good, but I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. Okay, so we're in the neighborhood of done. I just turned on the broiler. The water's just started to boil. So we're in pretty good shape here. So in a minute, we're going to take them out of the pan. We are going to put them on, actually a pizza thing, because I need something to broil them on. So turning the heat off. Going to put the pasta in. Let's get this show on the road. Okay, so we have our chicken breasts. They're all ready to go. I don't have mozzarella, but I have pizza blend, which is mozzarella and cheddar, which is close enough. So we're going to put some of that across the top. Probably a fair bit. Okay. So my oven is, the broiler is heating up right now. We'll just toss it in. Put it on the top rack, a little bit below the broiler. So that'll go for a couple minutes. And when it's done, we'll assemble all this. Be right back. Okay, we should be pretty close. Didn't quite time the pasta and the broiler perfectly. Got the plate warmed up. Pasta's almost done. Just turned off the oven. Unfortunately, this cheese doesn't melt as well as I'd hoped, but still should be fine. So there it is. You can see it on the up close. It doesn't quite look the way you'd want it, but here it is. Put it on there. Looks nice. Put this back in the oven. Using different tongs than I cooked with. Here's our not so homemade marinara sauce. You put a little across there. And you put a little on there. Perfect. About the only thing left would be a little freshly grated Parmesan, which I don't have, so we'll use the store-bought. Okay, so we're all done. Chicken Parmesan looks great, smells great. I can't wait to dig in. Didn't take very long. If you like the video, please like the video. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel. Till next time, thank you so much.